these kind of videos, please consider subscribing, because I cover a lot of World War II topics, but also like other historical topics, as you can see if you scroll through my videos, I guess. But anyways, let's just get into it with fact number 1. The Luftwaffe was the aerial warfare branch of the Wehrmacht during World War II, which is kind of stating the obvious, but in case you didn't know, we're talking about the aerial warfare branch of the Wehrmacht of the German Nazi German Empire during World War II. The second fact, before the Luftwaffe, there was a predecessor. It was called the Imperial German Army Air Service. It was founded in 1910 with the name Die Fliegertruppen des Deutschen Kaiserreiches. Most often it was shortened to Fliegertruppe. It was renamed the Luftstreitkräfte on the 8th October of 1916. Fact number 3. The Luftstreitkräfte and the Marine Fliegerabteilung of the Imperial Navy had been disbanded in May 1920 as a result of the terms of the Treaty of Versailles, which stated that Germany was forbidden to have any air force. You might be familiar with the Treaty of Versailles or not, but if you're not, you should look into it, because it's kind of important, because it's actually, some consider it to be the causes of World War II later on, after World War I, obviously, because the Treaty of Versailles came after World War I. But yeah, moving on to fact number 4. The first steps towards the Luftwaffe's formation were undertaken just months after Adolf Hitler rose to power. Hermann Göring, a World War I ace pilot, became National Commissar for Aviation with former Lufthansa director Erhard Milch as his deputy. So if you're at the airport and you see Lufthansa planes, you now know that the Erhard Milch, the Lufthansa director, the first one, was the deputy of Hermann Göring of the Luftwaffe from Nazi Germany, which is interesting in my opinion. Fact number 5. During the interwar period, this is a period between the First World War and the Second World War, German pilots were trained secretly in violation of the Treaty of Versailles at the Lipetsk Air Base in the Soviet Union. Fact number 6. The Luftwaffe's existence was publicly acknowledged on the 26th of February 1935, just over 2 weeks before open defiance of the Versailles Treaty through German rearmament. So that kind of speaks for itself, I guess. Fact number 7. The National Socialist Flyer Corps, or in German, the Nationalsozialistisches Fliegerkorps, or NFSK, was formed in 1937 to give pre-military training, flying training, to male youths and to engage adult sport aviator in the Nazi movement. Military-age members of the NFSK were drafted into the Luftwaffe. Fact number 8. The Condor Legion, a Luftwaffe detachment sent to aid the national forces in the Spanish Civil War, provided the force with a valuable testing ground for new tactics and aircraft. Partially as a result of this combat experience, the Luftwaffe had become one of the most sophisticated, technologically advanced and battle-experienced air forces in the world when World War II broke out in 1939. So basically, the Spanish Civil War gave the Luftwaffe the opportunity to test their abilities in the sky, because aerial warfare was first used in World War I, so it was from the level bombers in 1937 led the Luftwaffe to grasp the benefits of dive bombing. The latter could achieve far better accuracy against tactical ground targets than heavier conventional bombers. It was not always feasible for the army to move heavy artillery over recently captured territory to bombard fortifications or support ground forces, and dive bombers could do that job way faster. Fact number 10. Dive bombers, often single-engine two-man machines, could achieve better results than larger 6- or 7-man aircraft at a tenth of the cost and 4 times the accuracy. So yeah, that's way more advantage. But yeah, this led to championing the dive bomber, particularly the Junkers Ju-87, which was the famous Stuka dive bomber. I'm sure you probably heard of it. If you play Battlefield 5, which was a horrible failure of a game, if you ask me, but if you played it, yeah, the Stuka was kind of cool to play with, in my opinion. But yeah, moving on. Fact number 11. The Luftwaffe proved instrumental in the German victories across Poland and Western Europe in 1939 and 1940. During the Battle of Britain, despite inflicting severe damage to the RAF infrastructure and during the subsequent Blitz, devastating many British cities, the German Air Force failed to batter the RAF into submission. And I made another video. I think if you click on my channel, it shows Adolf Hitler's top 10 most severe mistakes. By the way, I'm sorry about the wind noises. It's kind of windy out. But anyways, if you click my channel, you can see I made a video also in ASMR style about Adolf Hitler's top 10 most severe mistakes and the focus of changing the focus of the Luftwaffe to focus more on British cities, so civil targets instead of military targets of the RAF, such as fuel depots, is actually one of his big mistakes, because if they focused more on the RAF back then, they would have probably won the Battle of Britain, because the RAF would be crippled. But because of the fact that they focused the attention to civil targets, the RAF got time to recover and was a valuable fighting force again, quickly, to counter the Luftwaffe's tactics. But anyways, if you want to see more about those mistakes of Adolf Hitler, just check it on my channel, I guess. Moving on, fact number 12. In April and May 1941, UDET, which was the Luftwaffe Colonel General, or in German, Generaloberst, headed the Luftwaffe's delegation inspecting Soviet aviation industry in compliance with the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. This was a pact between Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union, a pact that, by the way, shocked the entire world back then. Anyways, UDET informed Göring that Soviet air forces were very strong and technically advanced. Göring decided not to report the facts to Hitler, hoping that a surprise attack would quickly destroy the USSR air forces. UDET realized that invading the Soviet Union could cripple Germany's chances for victory, and he was torn between truth and loyalty towards Göring, and then he suffered a psychological breakdown because of this. And Göring probably didn't want to tell Hitler, because there's this entire documentary where you can see the political games that were playing inside the Nazi party, and it's really interesting because everybody was always trying to bring good news to Hitler because they wanted to gain his favor, which is probably why Göring didn't want to tell Hitler that the USSR Air Force was actually one to be reckoned with. But yeah, anyways, moving on. Fact number 13. not strike at the Soviet production centers regularly or with the needed force. And yeah, we all know that industry and production centers are very vital if you want to win a war. So they should be, a target. Fact number 14. The Luftwaffe continued to defend German-occupied Europe against the growing offensive power of the RAF and the steadily building strength of the United States Army Air Forces. The mounting demands of the defense of the Reich campaign gradually destroyed the Luftwaffe's fighter arm. Despite its belated use of advanced turbojets and rocket-propelled aircrafts for bomber destroyers duties, it was overwhelmed by Allied numbers and a lack of trained pilots and fuel. A last-ditch attempt known as Operation Bodenplatte to win air superiority on the 1st of January 1945 failed. After that, the Luftwaffe ceased to be an effective fighting force. Now, there's a lot of information in this little fact. First of all, the belated use of the turbojet. We're talking about the Messerschmitt. The Messerschmitt. I also made a video about that. That is that's a turbo-powered jet, which was actually way faster than a Spitfire, and that's also one of the mistakes that Adolf Hitler made. But you should check out that video, and then you'll know more why they didn't use that in the first place. I mean, like earlier on in the war, but yeah. Moving on to fact number 15. At the start of the war, the Luftwaffe had 4 Luftlotten, or air fleets, each responsible for roughly a quarter of Germany alone. But as the war progressed, more air fleets were created as the areas under German rules expanded. For example, Luftwaffe 5 was created in 1940 to direct operations in Norway and Denmark, and every time Germany conquered another area, there will be more Luftlotten that were created. So yeah, basically that's how it worked. Fact number 16. In the peacetime strength of the Luftwaffe in the spring of 1939 was 370,000 men. I mean, like, the peacetime strength of the Luftwaffe in the spring of 1939 was 370,000 men. After demobilization in 1939, 900,000 men served, and just before Operation Barbarossa, which was to invade the USSR, in 1941, the personnel strength had reached 1.5 million men. And then, fact number 17. The Luftwaffe reached its largest personnel strength during the period of November 1943 to June 1944, with almost 3 million men and women in uniform. Fact number 18. 1.7 million of these were male soldiers, 1 million male Wehrmachtsbeamte and civilian employees, and almost 300,000 female and male auxiliaries. They were also called Luftwaffe Helfer, which means Luftwaffe helper. I left my window open and there were some flies coming in, so that's why I did that little maneuver. But fact number 19. In October 1944, the anti-aircraft units had 600,000 soldiers and 530,000 auxiliaries, including 60,000 male members of the Reichsarbeitsdienst, which is Empire Work Service, I guess, in translation. 50,000 Luftwaffe Helfer males aged from 15 to 17 years old, 80,000 Flakwehrmannen, males above military age, so kind of senior citizens, and Flak5-Soldaten, males unfit for military service, and 160,000 female Flakwaffenhelferinnen and RAD-Meiden, as well as 160,000 foreign personnel. So they basically had auxiliary purposes or duties. And then coming towards the last and final fact, number 20. German day and night fighter pilots claimed more than 70,000 aerial victories during World War II. Of these, about 745 victories are estimated to be achieved by jet fighters. Flak shot down 25,000 to 30,000 Allied planes. Broken down on the different allies, about 25,000 were American planes, about 20,000 British planes, 46,100 were Soviet planes, 1,274 French planes, 375 Polish planes, and 81 Dutch planes, as well as aircraft from other Allied nationalities. So yeah, these were 20 facts about the Luftwaffe, another World War II topic. So yeah, if you liked this video, please let me know in the comments and leave a subscribe or like the video, give a thumbs up. If you want more topics about World War II or other topics, you can always drop it down in the comments. I promise I'll look into it, but I cannot always immediately make a movie video about a topic, because it requires some research and I work a full-time job, so I need to find the time. But yeah, I guess that was it for today, and I'll catch you in the next video. Goodbye.